Why is a PIN more secure than a password? And at face value, it's not, right? A PIN is just a sequence of numbers anywhere from 6 to 8 characters. But it's probably important to understand the function of a PIN versus the function of a password and how they relate to each other. So in any traditional authentication scenario, and in actually almost all current modern authentication scenarios, you still have a credential pair, right? You have a username, you also have a password. No matter what we do, no matter what authentication scenario we go to, short of a public Microsoft.com account that is not part of a enterprise environment, you still have a password, right? But the point of what we're trying to do in this passwordless world is really reduce the number of times that a user has to enter that password into whatever systems they may use. Whether it's a local desktop, a website, public kiosk, whatever, right? So let's think about what a credential pair is. Very simply, right? Username and password, sure, but think of that in terms of getting into your own house, right? It's a key. It is a key that you put into a lock, you turn the lock, and you're in, right? You put in your credential pair, Windows lets you in. Something very mystical happens within Windows once you do that, though, and this goes back 20 years or more. Actually, I don't even know when this started, but you've been able to cache logons in Windows. Now what that means is that there's a special section inside of Windows itself, but it's called a credential manager. And basically, if Windows ever prompts you to say, do you want to remember this username and password? Say yeah. It gets stored in the credential manager. Easy peasy. In theory, reduces the number of times you have to play back credentials. The problem has been that the Windows credential manager is really not all that well protected, right? Anybody could sit down at a command prompt, run a tool like Mimikatz, and literally replay your credentials from the credential manager as part of an authentication attack. It's bad. It's very bad. Some of the worst scenarios that are enabled by this is, let's say you're just a regular user, but a domain admin cruises by your desk to help you install a printer. Well, by them having provided their credentials into your Windows environment, that credential is now stored in the credential manager. It is now available to be replayed. Basically, it's another key on your keychain that now when the bad guy gets a hold of your keychain, they can just try that key. Pretty simple to think about. So, what does a PIN do? Well, a PIN doesn't actually fundamentally replace a password. A PIN and a biometric and any other protections we want to layer on top of it really represent a statement of intent to use that key. So think about it as if you had a little lock on your pocket, right? It's a simple, small, extra security control that says, I am taking this key out on purpose. Pretend it's a lock and say a pickpocket doesn't have access to it, right? But you're taking it out on purpose to use that key. So a PIN, or again, a biometric, they become interchangeable at this point. Because really what they're doing is they're saying, I am the person with the intent to do this at this device. And you see that same behavior with YubiKeys, where you have to stick in the thing and thumb swipe or press a button. Those are all gestures. A PIN functionally is a gesture proving your intent at this moment to use the credential that's available to you.